Hello everyone, welcome back to Into Sports. I'm your host Evan. Today I'm joined by Jake, Into Sports NBA analyst. And now that the NBA has returned, we're going to tell you our top 10 players inside the NBA bubble. So Jake, get it started with number 10.
Number 10, point guard, Trailblazers, Damian Lillard. This guy, he just went crazy on the Nuggets. He's been a consensus top 15, top 10 guy in the league for the last few years. Great, excellent shooter, brought his team to the Western Conference Finals. He's great. He's clearly a top 10 player in my opinion. And hopefully he can lead the Blazers to a playoff position.
At number 10, I have a different point guard. I'm going with Russell Westbrook. 27, 8, and 7 this year. The numbers are phenomenal. My problem is that he only shoots 25% from 3, while he still decides to shoot 4 of them a game. I don't get that. But he's the most explosive and athletic player in basketball right now. But unfortunately, it's a shooter's league, so Westbrook's only going to be at 10.
Yeah, that's my knock on Westbrook, is that if he played to his strengths, if he attacked the basket all the time, and didn't settle for three-pointers or that many mid-ranges, he'd be very high on my list. But watching him play with Houston, he takes a lot of bad shots, contested threes. I just couldn't bring myself to put him on this list. He's definitely a great player, honorable mention, but I have problems with him sometimes, and his playoff success is scary, to say the least, to put him on the list. So that's my picks. But number 9, I have former teammate of Russell Westbrook, and I actually debated this guy. I debated for Westbrook against this guy, but I have Paul George from the Clippers at number 9. He's putting up 21, 6, and 4 as a second option on a championship contender. And I think that Paul George shoots the ball well, plays a good defense, even though he does get a lot of game winners hit in his face. He's definitely solid, and in order for the Clippers to be successful, Paul George is a big part of that.
Wow. I'm not a fan of that pick. I don't have Paul George. I don't know. I think that's a little crazy. But my number 9 is going to be Paul George. He's a two-way wing, which I like. All defensive first team last year. A great defender. And I mentioned two-way wing. That's a guy that plays both ways. That's not a point guard, not a center. In between, like a LeBron, Kawhi, KD, Paul George. I believe those are the guys that really win you championships. Paul George classifies as one of those. 40% from 3 last year. 88% from the charity stripe. So this guy's a pure shooter that plays elite defense and can attack the rim. Sign me up for Paul George in my top 10.
Yeah, we perfectly agree there. And going down to number 8, I have my second and final point guard on the list. It's going to be Chris Paul. Chris Paul is a winner. His team was projected to be high lottery pick this year. He brought them to playoffs. They're fighting for the 4 seed in the tougher conference. That's ridiculous. And it all starts with Chris Paul. He's putting up 18, 5, and 7. Like we said, number 5 seed competing for number 4. I do not. If I were going into the bubble right now and I was creating a team, I would want Chris Paul as my point guard. He's truly a winner. He shoots the ball at a high percentage. He finds his teammates. Chris Paul is a great teammate and great player to have. I think he's top 10 in the bubble as of right now.
Wow, I don't know if I can get behind that. But I'll tell you, my 8th player is also Chris Paul.
Saw that coming.
A little bit too much agreement here. It's kind of surprising. And I know what people are saying at home. Only 18 points a game? That's not that good. But the Thunder lost Paul George and Russell Westbrook this offseason. They gained Chris Paul. Now they have a better record this year than last year. Chris Paul, greater sign Westbrook plus George. I guess that's the equation we're writing.
So,
Chris Paul's impact on winning is immense. He took an 18-win team in New Orleans about a decade back, and he turned them into a 56-win team in 3 years. He pulled a similar stunt with the Clippers, then Houston, now OKC. He constantly is bringing teams that aren't that great and making them 4 or 5 seeds, potential contenders, and he's done the exact same thing with OKC this year.
Yeah, to appreciate Chris Paul's greatness, you have to watch the games. You can't just look at the numbers, see 18 points, 5 rebounds is not that good, when there's guys putting up a lot better numbers like Westbrook putting up near triple-double. No, Chris Paul, he affects the game more than any other player or most other players in the bubble, and that's why we both have him number 8.
Exactly.
Anyway, moving down to number 7, I got the best player on the Denver Nuggets is Nikola Jokic. The center, puts up 27 and 10, number 3 seed. I don't have much more to say about this guy. He's a great passer. He's been a little successful in the playoffs, but yet to go to the Western Conference Finals, but only been in the playoffs, 1 or 2 years before. But his team is good this year, and Jokic is an excellent player. He's been dominant. He lost some weight. I think he's got some new moves in his bag. I think he can lead the Nuggets far. Best player on the team. Like I said, nothing else to say. Just all-around great player.
I'm going with another guy that doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. I'm going Luka Doncic. Listen to these numbers. 29, 9, and 9? That's almost a 30-point triple-double. Now, to get those numbers, he does shoot a lot. Not as efficient as, not just super efficient. And there's not a lot of defense being played by him or anyone really in Dallas. But he'll toast you with that step back 3. Now, my knock with him is, I mentioned to me, seems like he hits 3s all the time. But he only shoots 31% from 3-point line. I'd like to see that go up significantly before he goes up on my list. But Doncic, what he's doing in, what is this, year 3? It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, year 2 actually, I believe.
Year 2, wow.
Yeah, Doncic is incredible. I'm surprised you have him that low, honestly. Nothing more to say about him. I'll get to him later. Number 6 for my personal self, he puts up 26.5, 9, 9.5, and 3. Who do you think he is?
26.5, 9.9.
9.5 and 3. Yeah.
I'd go with Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis from the Los Angeles Lakers. Second option. He put up something near 40 the other night. He's a great player, but my problem with him is I don't know how well he can perform without LeBron on the floor. We've seen the games without LeBron. The Lakers have a very poor record. Davis, we've seen him with the Pelicans. He can't do it by himself. Everybody above him on the list, they've led their teams further by themselves. But Anthony Davis still a phenomenal player. He deserves his number 6 spot. He's leading the Lakers in almost every single statistical category other than assists, and he does it pretty efficiently as well. Great defender. He's got to be on the list. If he's not on your list, it's ridiculous. But again, he's only number 6 because I failed to see him, lead a team himself. So high second option on the list though.
Well, I'm going with a guy that does lead the team himself. A guy that you had on your list, but a little bit too low. Damian Lillard. Now, he's similar to Doncic in the way that he doesn't defend, but he's a big-time scorer. 29 per contest. Now, he's extremely deadly from deep. I think he's the best volume shooter in the bubble. He's kind of like a Curry. I think we overlook Lillard sometimes his shooting and step back and 3-point game because we have Curry in the league, and so he gets all the attention. But Damian Lillard, he's right there. He led the league in minutes per game, and he carried a lot of the load for Portland. They're the only reason, or he's the only reason, that the Trailblazers are in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, my number 5 pick is Luka, and it's ridiculous to me, honestly, that you put Damian Lillard over Luka. He's got the better record, better numbers. He's got everything. Obviously, the 3-point percentage, that surprised me a lot when I saw it was like 31%. Because when I watch him in the game, it seems like every play down the court, he's hitting a step back 3, making something happen.
Right.
But I guess, 31%, that's definitely a knock. Defense, not a great defender, obviously. But his numbers are ridiculous. Near 30 points a game, near a 30-point triple-double. That's like prime Russell Westbrook numbers. This guy's in the second year. We've seen his clutch gene. He's hit a number of, half-court shots, a number of buzzer beaters. This kid is amazing. He's like truly boy wonder. He's awesome. I want to have him on my team come playoff time over Damian Lillard.
Wow, boy wonder and over Damian Lillard? Wow, okay.
Had to steal the Tyler Hero nickname for Luka.
Oh my. Okay. I'm gonna have to ignore what you said. I'm going with number 5, Anthony Davis. The second guy on the LA Lakers Pretty incredible that they have 2 top 5 players. Well, yeah, I'm kind of spoiling the list, but we all know LeBron's in my top 5. Davis, great defender. He's no stranger to the NBA all-defensive team. And I'm looking up, his measurables. I knew he had a big wingspan, but he has a 7'6" wingspan? That is crazy. He protects the paint, kind of like a Rudy Gobert, but he's more than just a typical big man. He shoots a higher three-point percentage than Luka Doncic. Did you know that? I didn't. He's also a good passer. He's not just great in the low post. He can step out and shoot it too. This is a modern big man, Anthony Davis at number 5.
Yeah, Davis does it all. He's a great player. My next guy, who I have some problems with occasionally, but still one of my favorite players in the league, the guy you got to watch out for on every single night is James Harden. He can put 60 on you on any given night. It's ridiculous. The guy averages 34, 7.5, and 6.5. Number 4 seed in the West. He's not someone I want to see first round in the playoffs or any round in the playoffs. However, he does have his playoff struggles, just like a couple other people mentioned on this list. And that's scary for me because the guy puts up 35 points a game. Like, what could possibly be wrong with that? He has, he's yet to make it to the finals since his OKC days. He struggled to beat the Warriors in the, Western Conference Finals. But I think most of his problems this year are gone. Warriors are gone. He doesn't have to worry about playing away games. He can shoot in the gym, no crowd noise. I think if Harden is going to do big things, it's going to be this year. That's why he's number 4 on my list. The dude is an elite scorer, one of the best of all time, and he's got to be there.
Wow, the Rockets' problems being gone? Wow, I think that's a very smart thesis, Jake.
I thought of that one myself, actually.
I'm also going with James Harden at the number 4 spot. 34, 35 points a game while still being very efficient. That's what impresses me a lot. Knockdown shooter, kind of like Lillard. We don't realize how phenomenal he is with a step back 3 game and just a shooter in general. I mean, he's really one of the best in the league. He's not super hyper athletic. He's not going to just blow by you like a Westbrook could, but he uses his size to bounce off defenders, finish, floater in the lane, all of that. Now again, not a premier defender, but actually I think a lot of that is how much energy he expends on the offensive end, not having any for the defensive end. Kind of like his playoff struggles. I think he's going to be a lot better this postseason because he's going to be fully rested after the 5-month hiatus.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
And I was also expecting you to give me that, well, he gets 2 steals per game, so he's a good defender. No. I was just prepared. But I'm surprised you didn't tell me he's one of the great defenders or something.
Well, I do believe he's an underrated defender, but regardless. And let's not get it twisted. You said he doesn't really blow by guys like Westbrook does. His first step is ridiculously fast, and that's what makes him such a great scorer because any given time he could step back, shoot a 3, or he could step back, fake, and then go right by you to the basket, draw a foul, hit a floater. That's what makes him so unguardable on any night. And if his shot is on, you're losing the game. It doesn't matter if you're the Lakers, the Bucks. Harden can single-handedly bring a team to a win on any night, and that's what makes him so dangerous. But anyway, bringing it down to the number 3 spot, we have the reigning Finals MVP is Kawhi Leonard. He puts up 27, 5, and 7, number 2 seed in the West. Obviously, first option on his team, and a lot of people would consider him the best player in the league right now. Obviously, I don't, but he's still a wonderful player. He's always been a league best defender. And he does it on the offensive end now, shoots a high percentage, got the mid-range game on locks, and number 3 pick.
I have a different number 3 than you, so our top is going to look a little bit different. I'm going with the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. 30 points, 14 rebounds. He's 6'11 with a 7'3 wingspan. I mean, when he gets a full head of steam, he's unguardable. It's impossible to guard him. With that size, that speed, that length, he gets going to the basket, call it a day. Now, very few guys can match his size, length, and speed, but the problem is he's not a very good shooter 20 feet plus. That's the problem. Now, he's competent as a mid-range jump shot 3-ball shooter, but he's not as good as you need to be for your people to fully respect his J, and that's why I think we've seen some postseason struggles. Oh, also, he's phenomenal defensively. Maybe the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, you said Giannis is my number 2 pick, and you said everything that I needed to go over. Again, you one great player, probably MVP this year. Maybe a defensive player of the year. If not defensive player, he's gonna be All NBA first team. But like we said, he shuts down in the playoffs sometimes because teams key in, the game slows down. Defenses are getting tighter, and he just doesn't seem to handle that because he doesn't have a jump shot like other great players on the list. But again, number 2, obviously he puts up 36 and 13.5. There's no way I could put him, lower than 3. There's no reasonable explanation for why he would be lower than that. So I got him at number 2. He's got the number 1 record in the league. His co-star isn't nearly as good as some of the other best teams in the league. And so for that reason, Giannis has got to be number 2.
Well, 36. I don't know where you get your stats.
Sorry, no, I said 30 and then 6 and 13.5.
Oh, okay.
So 6 assists.
Okay. I'm going with, at number 2, second best player in basketball. I'm going with Kawhi Leonard. Oh, well, but he load manages. I don't care about a Tuesday night game against the Cavaliers in February. I care about the playoffs. And last year in the playoffs, he dominated against the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, in last year's Eastern Conference Finals. Elite defender. I mean, this guy is the Giannis stopper. It's not Semi Ojeleye. It's not even Bam Adebayo. It's Kawhi Leonard. He's that good on the defensive end. He can attack. He can shoot the mid-range. He can shoot it from deep. He can hurt you at every level of the basketball court. Kawhi Leonard, to me, second best player in basketball, but I guess you disagree.
Yeah, Kawhi has no flaws in this game, but Giannis, he's just been doing everything at a more dominant level this year. But anyway, moving down to the number 1 slot, I really hope your guys are the same as mine. It's got to be LeBron. He's the best leader in the league. He's got playoff experience. He's got 3 championships under his belt. We're playing in new conditions, but LeBron is in his 13th, 15th, whatever. I don't even know what season he's in. The man is so old. He's got experience. I think he's ready to handle this. He puts up 25, 10, and 8. He's leading the league in assists this year. Great passer. He can feed it to Anthony Davis. He also scores the ball. We haven't even seen him in playoff mode this year. We don't know if his and oftentimes his numbers go up in the playoffs, goes up even higher in the finals. LeBron is unguardable. He's been playing better defense this year too, which helps his case. Number 1 player. If I'm going into the league, into the playoffs this year, LeBron is the guy I want on my team for sure over anybody else.
Wow, okay. Number 1, I'm going to change it up a little bit from you. I'm going to go with Zion Williamson. Now, we know how good he was at Duke, but no, just kidding. No. I'm going with LeBron James. I probably didn't get any of you because we all know LeBron James is the best player in basketball. Nobody elevates their teammates like LeBron. That's the advantage I give over Kawhi. His court vision, his passing skills. With Kawhi, he doesn't make the teammates around him better. Oh, but LeBron does. Definitely. No doubt about that. And LeBron, not the defender that a Kawhi is, but I think LeBron is capable on the defensive end. He doesn't do it that much, but we saw opening restart night against the Clippers, stopping Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to win the game defensively. I think he still has that ability, although I don't know if he has that energy in year 17. There's no doubt about it in my mind, and there shouldn't be any doubt about it for you, the listener. LeBron James, best player in basketball.
Right. LeBron averages double Kawhi's assists. And I wanted to mention some honorable mentions from my list. I got Westbrook, who I really wanted to put on this list, but I had Lillard edge him out by a little bit. Better shooter, better playoff performer. Then I have Joel Embiid. He struggles to stay on the floor. Injuries is always a problem with him. But regardless, second best center in the league. Great player. Then I have Devin Booker. I really wanted to put him on the list, but he does not win enough games. Although he has been 4-0 in the bubble, not going to be a player that you're going to see playoff success with. And I have Jimmy Butler and Pascal Siakam to just round out the honorable mentions.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good second listed guy. I was really thinking about Butler at number 10, but ultimately I went with Russell Westbrook.